Hi everybody, it's Dandruff with your news Cartridge for Friday, February 9th, 2018. Got a great show for you today, and if you want to skip around, timestamps and reference links can be found in the description below. We begin today with Hunt Down the Freeman, an independently developed Half-Life game by Royal Radius Entertainment, being delayed by another week. It's a highly anticipated game, which we still do not know the price of or why this delay has occurred. The devs state in this post to the Steam forum they didn't realize their game had 50 levels, not counting the tutorial, and they are labeling it as good news. So are we really to believe that they didn't realize that their game that's more than 60 gigabytes inside had more than 50 levels? This really doesn't give me faith in the development team because that's inherent miscommunication. And while we did get a reason for the last delay of them wanting to shrink down the file size, the best we were given this time was them saying they didn't want to release an unfinished product, and it wouldn't be a Half-Life game unless it were released fashionably late. Alright, so if it's not done, then why was it allegedly ready to launch 2 weeks ago? I'm just getting a really odd feeling about this game, and I'm going to watch it very closely. And then right away, I want to go into this one about Anno 2070, a game that released all the way back in 2011. If you go check out the Steam reviews right now, you will be hard-pressed to find any positive ones in the last 3 days, because the game is not playable. And I'm not talking the multiplayer servers, you cannot play the single-player campaign, which is just plain laughable. And what's the reason for this? Ubisoft implemented a new DRM called Tages and have locked paying customers out of their game. Remind me how DRM's a good thing again? This is an embarrassment for Ubisoft, who should remove all DRM from Anno 2070. Not only is it a more than 6-year-old game, but pirated copies have existed for years now. I am not suggesting to anyone to do this, but you can go play a copy of the game without having to rely on Ubisoft servers or any type of DRM. But I will suggest that nobody buy this game until Ubisoft gets their shit together. If there's any update to this story, I will be sure to bring it to you. On to release announcements, with the physical edition of Worms WMD for Nintendo Switch being cancelled. No need to worry though, because it's been available on Nintendo's eShop for quite some time now. Sony seems to have allowed their first early access game onto the PS4 with Armored Warfare. The game itself is free to play, but there is no free to play version on the PlayStation Store. It is free on Steam, though. Speaking of early access, Abandoned Ship will release onto Steam this February 21st. In update news, Monster Hunter World has been updated to version 1.05 on PS4, version 1.0.10 on Xbox One, and all patch notes can be found through links in the description below. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for Nintendo Switch is getting an update next week, which will enable a New Game Plus mode. And then we have a new mouse that has been successfully kickstarted, incorporating a thumbstick. And at first I want to say that it does look a little bit weird, but I don't think it's completely ridiculous. It is something that I would want to try for myself to see how it functions, though. This mouse comes with a hefty price tag, and you can secure one in the next 33 days for 99 euros while supplies last, or 109 euros after that. No telling what the retail price will be. Also, don't forget that if you pledge money to a Kickstarter, it may as well be a gamble. You may not get the product you were hoping for, and you may not get anything at all. Moving on from there, in a Twitter filled with bots from various countries, one bot stands out among the rest. GiftsBot, a bot randomly tweeting from the Gifts Galore CD-ROM collection from 1992, tweeted out an image from the game Star Tribes, Myth of the Dragon Lord, a never-before-seen game. There were advertisements for this game in 1990, but it never wound up coming out. The Twitter user who noticed the image, Awesome Monster, pointed out it seems like an early version of Laser Lords, a game from 1992. Now, the people who wondered what happened to Star Tribes know, and we found a useful bot on Twitter. We will never be able to play Star Tribes, Myth of the Dragon Lord, but at least now we know what it looked like. And finally for the week, financial reports from Activision Blizzard indicate they made more money from recurrent consumer spending opportunities last year than they did from their games. Remind me again why developers complain it's too expensive to make games. Also, one could argue that this is completely profit, as there is very little overhead in distributing a completely digital product, especially when that product is attached to another mostly digital product. It's really surprising too, because most gamers do not buy microtransactions, and if they do, it's few and far between. The industry relies on so-called whales in order to rake in as much money as they can. These people, who probably suffer from some sort of gambling addiction, represent a minority in our gaming hobby, but we now have evidence that their spending power rivals the rest of the community. And I believe we are at the point where it requires regulation in order for things to return to a more familiar state and get us off this whole games as a service notion. I believe games are a product, and beyond bug fixes and the occasional update, should leave gamers to enjoy their games without badgering their wallets any further. Once again, it's time for Monday's game releases, because I'm off for the next 2 days because I'm getting hungry for a winner chicken dinner. For PC, New Types, Committed, Mystery at Shady Pines, Hyperbolic Ignition, Dream on the Moon, Redline, Ultimate Racing, Bomb Tag, S-Copter, Trials of Quick Fingers and Logic, Swaps and Traps, Little Fight, and Space Invaders Extreme. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been News Cartridge. I am Dandruff. I will see you on Monday. And light travels faster than sound. Yeah, that's why some people appear bright until they open their fucking mouths. I can't wait to go play some games. Click up here to watch the bonus episode for today's show. Click down here to watch yesterday's episode, which was about new Twitch policies dealing with anti-harassment and sexual content. And click over here to subscribe to my wonderful, wonderful channel. See you on Monday. Go play some games.